Jerry, you've had an incredible career and journey. You've been a mother, a wife, teacher. What prompted you to take all this and go into the political arena? Where did this start from?
Well, the nice thing is that I haven't done all of those things all at the same time. Each one of the jobs that I've had has been just part of the progression. In fact, it's very funny. I had never planned for the next job while I'm doing a job. But when I get to the end of the job that I'm doing, I say, well, maybe I'd like to do something a little bit different. In fact, my kids still say to me, what are you going to be when you grow up? But it was one thing at a time. I was a teacher when I graduated from college because my mother, who was a widow and who found herself at the age of 39 with 2 kids to support and no formal education, really felt it was important for me to be educated and to have a job where if I were left in a position where I had to support children, I could be home at 3 o'clock when they were home at 3 o'clock and would make a decent salary to make sure that they were adequately cared for. But I always wanted to be a lawyer, so I went to law school at night, which is the only time I could afford it. Then I got married as soon as I graduated from law school and started having children right away, and for that period of time, for 13 years, I stayed home and took care of my children. And then it was time to go back to work, and I wanted to practice law, and so I took advantage of the fact that my cousin had just been elected district attorney of Queens County, and I applied for a job. I worked on his campaign just like everybody else, and I got the job. And I stayed on even after he left to become a Supreme Court judge. I worked for his successor, and when working for his successor, I was able to move into the position of a bureau chief, which is a supervising trial attorney. And then doing that, just decided that the crimes that I was dealing with, the women who were victims of sexual abuse, children who were referred to the criminal court from the family court because of child abuse, women who were battered spouses. Those were situations where I felt that the victims were just being treated very unfairly by society, but also I recognized that we had to do something about the people who were committing the crimes besides putting them in jail. We had to look back and say, what can we as a society do to prevent people from moving into a life of crime? And so I decided the only way I could do that was by being a legislator, and that's when I ran for office, ran for Congress. So all the jobs that I've had have just been a progression.
Like a little stairway up.
Into something new, something challenging, a place where I think I can make a difference.